All right, I want to share a story that goes back to kind of my startup in the pest control world. And when I first started in pest control, I really hired two people at the same time. I hired an office person and a technician. And for a while, it was really, really easy for me as I would go out with a technician and make changes just to tweak with that technician, say, okay, this is how you do it now. And I was pretty good if it applied to the office, going to the office person saying, hey, by the way, we've changed things with the technician. This is how the technician's doing it now. But over time, even with only 3 people in the company, I started telling the technician one thing and I would forget to tell the office person that same thing. So for example, I remember one time in particular where we decided we were going to change the way the product that we were using and spraying it on a house. And I went to the technician, showed him the new product, said, okay, from now on, this is the product that we're going to be spraying. And he said, okay, got it, sweet. We went ahead and made that change. I made data-driven objective decisions based on audits and reservice rates. And I told the technician that, but in this particular instance, I forgot to tell the office staff. And so the office staff was still taking calls, customer calls, and was being asked, what product do you use? I just want to research it, make sure that it's going to be good with my kids and my pets. And she was telling the customer the old product that we weren't using anymore. But then the technician would go out and spray this new product. And we started having just a couple calls come in, just of customers upset because the communication wasn't accurate. They were told one thing, another thing was actually sprayed. Nothing ended up happening with like pets or kids or anything like that, but there was this feeling of disorganization. And unfortunately, that didn't just happen one time. I didn't really change my system because it was working fairly well in the beginning, but it came to an issue another time when we were treating bed bugs at the time, but the technician really just like, no matter how much training we did, I did, we just weren't really equipped. We didn't really have the right certification to really get rid of, or the expertise to really get rid of bed bugs. And I had to swallow my pill and realize I just don't know how to put this SOP together for bed bugs. We need to scratch that service off completely. So I remember like in a moment of frustration, just calling an audible call and say, okay, going forward, we're not doing bed bugs anymore. And I told the technician that, and he's like, okay, sweet. But then the office continued to sell new bed bugs and it led to an issue. I can think of literally countless times pricing, for example, where I go to the office and I say, okay, this is our pricing now. We need to edit our pricing where instead of X dollars per month, we're going to increase it by $5 per month. But then the technician would go and sell something at old pricing, or we would change it from being quarterly services to monthly billing, but still quarterly services. And the office was selling it one way, but then door-to-door people were selling it another way. You can easily see how my company started to get very, very organized or disorganized. And I really had to sit back and be like, okay, I need my own process just to keep this organized. I have KPIs, I have critical drivers, I have SOPs, but things are changing so quickly in the business, especially as we started to evolve from 3 employees to 5 employees to 6 employees and so on. How do I keep this organized so that everyone is always on the same page? And that was the dilemma that I had. Rather than explain the next step, I'm going to stop there and just end with that story, just so you understand how your business really is like a live organism. It's always evolving, it's always changing, and you actually need some sort of system to keep things organized and live so that everyone's on the same page and you're actually evolving together and moving the business forward, and you're not moving your business forward into disorganization and chaos. So into the next step, we're going to talk about how you can implement organization in an actual system for your business.